Hi, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football show, brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. We are in person right now. We've got Kayce Smith to my left. We have Big Ev and Blutman on the couch.
The boys' couch.
The boys' couch. And we have High Noon sponsoring the whole thing. Kayce will tell you about it right now.
You know what I find very funny, Brandon, is that the High Noon pack, the infamous High Noon pack that I drug into your studio when I slept here a few weeks ago, is still sitting exactly where I left it.
Just like your stuff.
That is my stuff.
Yes, it's your stuff. It's been sitting here forever.
Well, I didn't know that was my stuff. The A&M stuff was...
You didn't know the A&M mug and the A&M notebook was your stuff?
Well, that was a gift that was given to me when I don't remember. No, but I do recognize those makeup remover wipes. So, yes, they're sitting there. But more importantly, the High Noon vodka iced teas are still sitting there. I will clean those up after the show. Love them. When I woke up this morning, I checked the weather, and it said it feels like -4 degrees, -4 degrees here in beautiful Chicago. You know what I said? Doesn't matter. I'll drink a High Noon when I get to the office. Doesn't matter how cold it is. High Noon always tastes good.
It's High Noon degrees.
I love it.
This is perfect. This is almost where it's too cold. Just throw it on the porch. Throw it on the porch for a little bit. You can't leave it there forever. Got to grab it, bring it inside, get that frost, get it cold but not too cold. That perfect cold. It's High Noon weather.
You warm you up. HighNoonSpirits.com. Find a pack near you. It is championship week, Brandon Walker.
Yeah.
Championship week.
We have varying degrees of what feels like perceived importance for these games. We have varying degrees of how badly teams need to win them, but we do have conference championship games that matter. The Big Ten, Oregon, Penn State, matters for who's getting possibly the number 1 overall seed, who's possibly getting the 5 seed. Arizona State, Iowa State in the Big 12, that's a playoff game. Mm-hmm. That's what that is. Georgia, Texas, another one that if Texas were to win, they could get the number 1 seed potentially.
Also buys. Like those are both the Big Ten and the SEC are who gets a buy and who doesn't.
And then SMU Clemson is kind of 75% of a playoff game. Like SMU wins, they're in no problem because they'll get a bye as well. But they'll be in. Clemson can play that. They can steal a bid right here, putting SMU's bid in jeopardy, and putting them in a spot where Alabama could snipe their spot. And then UNLV Boise State, the Mountain West, is just a clear ass. It's just a playoff game. It's just the only difference there is if Boise wins, they get a top 4 seed, and I think if UNLV wins, they will not. They would get the 12th seed. So whoever's the 5, you watch that. Well, the Mountain West game's on Friday, so we'll know on Saturday what's going to go on with that. More, less, or same excited about championship week compared to past years?
Way more. I mean, I feel like you usually have a game where, you really are locked in, obviously, like the SEC championship. I've mentioned this with the Big Ten. I mean, obviously the Big Ten, like when you get to Indy with the East and the West, since we've been doing these shows, like it's not even been a game. Like I've usually not even given a shit to watch the Big Ten game outside of just casually having it on. Now, like you just laid out, every single game has playoff implications. Even if both teams are going to be in, having a bye and like paying attention to where those seeds, those are all so much more exciting to me. Like last time I watched Mountain West Championship, start to finish, never in my life. I'll be watching it start to finish on Friday night.
I hope Blutman's not paying attention to you right now.
Sorry, Blutman.
That upset me a little bit.
As
a Mountain West supporter. And
I'm sure it's been on.
Yeah.
It was actually a rematch of this same game.
I have not said, and maybe, I mean, obviously it makes me a little bit of a casual, I guess, but I have definitely had it on when other games are on, but I've never been like, you know what I really want to do? Sit down and the Mountain West is going to be on my main TV.
I mean, this is finally the year where they understood what they have to do from a TV standpoint. The Pac-12 dying helped that, giving them the Friday night spot that the Pac-12 had. And last few years, the Mountain West title game, it was on at 9 a.m. Pacific time one year. On Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific Mountain West championship game start. Sometimes they don't get, 10. Yeah, 10. Right?
10. Noon
time zone?
I don't know.
No,
it'd be 9, yes.
Pacific would be 9.
And it's 10 mounted. So, yes, they've gotten it wrong in years past. They got it right this year. They got Game of the Year Part 2 going on. Phenomenal matchup, rematch of last year. Can't wait. It's going to be good.
Big Av, more, less, or same excited as previous years?
More for sure. I mean, you have 3 pretty clear winning in games, losing out games.
Yeah,
that's something you think. I'm like trying to tell myself that the committee could do the right thing here, but they won't. They'll do the right thing for like the ratings and just the brand.
Yeah.
because I just think there's no real grounds to say. I mean, listen, they have better wins. I get it, but there's 3 playoff games. Let's call it what it is. SMU's got to win. The thing I don't like hearing from SMU is Lashley's already kind of doing that, like, if we just sat out, if our team got COVID, we'd be in. I don't love hearing that from your coach.
He's right, though.
Even though he is,
tired of
he
this.
is right, but I don't like him saying.
Right, I'm tired of.
I don't
this.
like him saying.
These coaches are choosing to go up there and look like baby back bitches. And like, I know the situation is not great. Fucking go use it.
Go win.
I don't
use
like
it. And go win.
I don't like you leading a bunch of young men into battle, and that's like the war cry you're giving them. Not like fuck them. Let's go pack it up their ass. We win this game. Leave no doubt.
Just imagine
that's what and I'm sure that's what he's saying in the locker room. I'm sure he is. I give him credit. Like I'm not gonna I don't think he's saying what he's saying in the interview just to the team. Like, hey, this is bullshit. I don't think that's how he's like commanding his locker room. But I just don't like hearing it in an interview either.
You don't like hearing it, and that's fine. It would be a lot different if we knew he was saying that to his team. I do think that there is a little bit. Now, Lane Kiffin did it too much. We know that. There have been guys who have done it too much in the past, like Nick Saban doing it a few years ago when Alabama did not deserve to be in the playoff. However, what Rhett Lashley is saying is true, and I do think them lobbying for that because the committee is paying attention to that stuff. So I do think that the more coaches that come out and say, hey, this has got to be fixed the next time we deal with this, I'm okay with that because he's right. He's 1,000% right.
He is, but I think there's a way that you can like approach it and like say that and still be like, but fuck him.
Yeah.
I think there's like I just don't think you doing the like, it's more of a cry and like less of because like the Saban thing, like his was never really that. It was more him like losing a few and saying that, hey, like we'd be favored. We'd be like, but he's pitching his case and that's what they all should be doing.
Well,
I don't begrudge like anyone from South Carolina or Ole Miss for doing that. Now they're not going to get in, but if I was them, I'd be pushing that narrative too.
Yeah, if he would say, listen, in my stance as the SMU coach, we've already done enough to get in. We belong in this playoff. But if our assignment is to go out and beat Clemson and make it official, that's all that we're caring about this week.
Bingo.
That is all that we're worried about doing.
Fair.
Is we're worried about going out there and making a statement for SMU football and winning this game.
Instead of saying like if we all got COVID,
it'd be a shame if we lost.
We want to be ACC
get it.
champs. Like that was our goal, first goal to start this year. We're coming to new conference. We want to be champions of the conference.
I get it, and he is right.
You can believe what you want, and you can be right all you want. What you say publicly needs to be more along the lines of what I said. So we have those games. We had signing day yesterday, what was that?
No, I just miss when signing day was in February and the fax machines, and I know that makes me old. I know it makes me old, but I miss that massive pop on signing day. Yeah,
it's February signing day was something. The only thing I didn't like about signing day in February was, football season would end in January 1st, usually January 1st, first week of January, and then you'd have a 4-week kind of lull, and not even a lull. It was a lull and then a sprint. And it was just this weird, chaotic, stressful time of being a college football fan, whereas now you kind of get it all out of the way. But it's mixed in. December timeline is crazy. We're doing a conference championship games. How many teams are playing? 20 teams are playing or whatever this weekend. And meanwhile, they're also signing their high school recruits. Meanwhile, they're also trying to determine who they're going to go out and get in the transfer portal, which opens soon. And they're trying to keep players out of the transfer portal. It's everything. December is probably the most stressful time to be a college football coach, and even though there is no non-stressful time. And the coaching carousel is going on. So everything's right here.
And you have teams that are playing, that are already, like, again, Texas, Georgia, or Penn State, Oregon. Like, they know they're in the playoff. So it's not even like if they lose, then they can, they're out, and then they can go focus on all those things you just mentioned. Like, they have to win a conference championship to get better seeding, and then they have to go focus on the playoff. And meanwhile, like we said before, Michigan's just like, I don't know, man. Like, we got a random bowl game. Let's go out in the portal now.
Did y'all see the double flip in Mississippi yesterday?
Yes.
The double flip.
The double flip. You didn't see him?
I'm not like into.
I'm not a big recruiting guy either. So,
no.
I saw because it hit Instagram.
So, Tyler Lockhart's a 4-star linebacker out of Winona, Mississippi, which it is uniquely positioned. It's on the highway it's right in the middle of state, and the highway that runs right beside Oxford 55 and the highway that runs through Starkville intersect right there. So you can get on. You can leave his hometown, and an hour this way, you go to Starkville, an hour that way, you go to Oxford. Maybe not even an hour, probably like 45 minutes, you go to Oxford. Anyway, so he was committed to Mississippi State since September for a while, and there were rumors the other day that he was going to flip to Ole Miss. Well, yesterday morning, they had an announcement at his school. He was surrounded by his family, and he put on the little, little blue shirt. They got a little cute blue shirt and did a little thing with the dick on his head. And then he was like he said he announced he's signing with Ole Miss. I went to bed at 7:30 last night. I fell asleep watching the Blackhawks game. I woke up to the biggest text and tweet storm I had seen in a long time. I woke up
somebody
at
died?
like 11:30. I was like, "What in the hell is happening?" And sometime during the night at like 9 o'clock, 9:30, it came out. Mississippi State. Jeff Lebby, the Mississippi State coach, tweeted out the Undertaker gif and said Mississippi State football rising up. And then Mississippi State, Ole Miss at about 5 o'clock tweeted out his graphic saying he signed with Ole Miss. At 9:30 or 10 o'clock, Mississippi State tweeted out a graphic saying he signed with Mississippi State. And apparently there's some issues like did Mama wouldn't sign or something for Ole Miss, or that's what Ole Miss fans are saying, and the State fans are saying this, but he had signing announcements for both rivals in the same day. Ended up signing with Ole Miss.
So I wanted to show you this live. Do not read this out loud. Ev knows what I'm about to show you. I want you to see the text message that Ev and I got at 6:22 a.m. this morning. That was it.
I don't
get it either.
Okay.
What? Click the link?
Did you click the link?
Oh, no. I didn't.
You got to click the link.
She said look at the text message.
Well, obviously I thought you clicked the link.
It's a text message with a link.
Okay. Yeah. So it's Mississippi State signing announcement, right?
That's what I was so confused about.
Well, no, but it was trolling. That's how I took it.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, no, yeah.
That's the way I received it. That's in my head.
Anyway, we had a double flip yesterday.
He was trolling the double flip. It was now them wearing the Mississippi State gear, and it was like like jokes on you.
Yeah.
I thought.
Well, anyway, 4-star linebacker. I'll say,
and let me say, I was to be a part of that text crew was wild. Wild.
I'll say
this morning.
As a fan of a 2-10 team who is looking for signs of life, and after Mike Leach, they made a bad hire with Zach Arnett, and he just he drove straight off the cliff and into a canyon. And then Jeff Lebby was hired last year, and we went 2-10. We were awful, and Ole Miss had a good year. They were 9-3, and they got some recruits that normally we would get. And then they flipped a guy yesterday, and I was like, "What? Can I get one win? Just give me one win to make me feel alive.
Woke up to one.
Give me one win." And last night, I woke up about 11:30. I didn't go back to bed until 2:30. I was just laying here smiling, looking at every meme, every GIF. But we got it. We got one. We won one. And hopefully this is the start of other wins and secondary wins and everything. But finally, we're starting to stir as a program again. We're starting to get in the fight a little bit.
But even just like this conversation as a whole, like, yes, like in
recruiting's ridiculous.
Like in state, obviously, you never want your rival in state to take it and flip. The fact that we haven't even played conference championship games yet, like that's what's so weird to me about this timeline. And I do agree that February signing day was like too late. Like it should have been, and I'm sure it was like a high school timeline. But like now it's like I just simply, and I mean, obviously, if you're a recruiting person, you're like in deep. Like yesterday, seeing it all, I was like, I want to focus on like Texas playing Georgia. I want to focus on Penn State playing Oregon. Like it's crazy to me.
Well, let's tell the truth. High school signing day is not what it was.
No,
it's not. It is still vitally important, and I think to be a good, healthy program, you need to be driven by good high school recruiting. You need to get the guys in there who are in your building for 4 and 5 years and are the heart of your team. I'm not saying that has gone away. That is still there. But transfer portal and get who you get to plug holes and who you get to be the star of your team next year, who you get to be the starting quarterback of your team next year. Like Jackson Arnold's out there. I don't think there's a high school quarterback in the country who's going to be as ready to make an impact as a Jackson Arnold, a Calandria, a couple of other guys that have Caden Salter, like
Miller Moss.
Like these are. I'm obviously using names for effect here,
Yeah.
But the transfer portal has kind of supplanted high school signing day. Not supplanted it. It has eaten away at some of its impact.
For sure, totally.
Yeah,
1,000%.
No, because what you said is absolutely right. If you're trying to plug a hole for like next year,
yeah,
you rather take the guy that was like second team All Big Ten last year.
Yeah,
you could put him at tackle for your team, not just have some rely on a 17-year-old, 18-year-old that's got to step in right away.
No, if you were 9-3 this year and you were a game short of a playoff, and there was one fatal flaw that kept you from a playoff, an 18-year-old 4-star defensive back isn't what's going to bridge that gap. It might bridge the gap in 3 years.
It might help,
do that.
right?
And it might help, but it ain't going to bridge the gap. But going out and getting Caleb Downs, I'm using an extreme example because he was the best last year. Getting a Caleb Downs makes you a championship contender next year.
Well, and you look at, how much shit Dion caught in the offseason because it was like he's not even, getting any high school recruits, and everyone was like, what's he doing? He's just going into the portal. Now, again, they didn't make the playoff this year, so he obviously still has more work to do. He loses Shador, he loses Travis Hunter, but that's also proof that, like, guys can say, hey, like, we're going to go get, even if it's a small amount of high school recruits, but in the transfer portal, we're going to be able to turn this right around right away.
Yeah, this time of the year rocks, even without just not even paying attention to the recruiting part. The conference championships upcoming, the playoffs upcoming, the coaching carousel getting in full swing, all the transfer portal stuff. There's so much going on. This is a great time for, like, college football fans. Can't wait.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, you know what else? Like, we were going to do the college football show today, usually when we get to championship week, I kind of start to get a little bit sad because I'm like, oh, the college football show is ending. We still have a live college football show to do because the way the playoff is. I mean, we still have till January the 20th or whatever day it is. College football is that much more extended.
Can I just say it? I'll just say it. I'm just going to say it. Did you see that coward shit coming? That as soon as Michigan beats you guys, and then Dave's like, well, if Ohio State gets a home playoff game, we're going to go take the show there.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have us.
Yeah, they're not going to have us. That's why
that was more my brain didn't go that, like, trust me, I thought it was like a real possibility because I thought it was a possibility regardless. Yeah. I thought if we win the game and then lost the Big Ten championship, I thought it still was a possibility.
Yeah,
that we'd go there because I knew there's only 4 options.
And
I knew Notre Dame was definitely going to be one of them. So that basically now there's 3 options, and I knew it was either going to be It's either going to be like us, like Penn State, Tennessee.
Well, he did.
I was like maybe like Georgia.
He did say he was like if they have us because Notre Dame won't have us. From everything that I know, obviously this can all change, but Notre Dame won't have us. Penn State won't have us. Ohio State won't have us.
Ohio State probably won't. I don't know for sure.
They wouldn't before, but I mean, you didn't see that coming.
No, I
saw it.
Man's a coward. Dave Portnoy is a coward.
I wouldn't mind ending up in Athens. I'm just throwing that out there.
I'd be the prettiest women situation.
Speaking of pretty women,
yeah.
You know what pretty women need in their lives?
To walk down the street?
Diamonds.
Oh, yes.
Pretty women, they need diamonds, okay? So Blue Nile, we've had them for, I believe we had them as a sponsor around this time last year because it is gift-giving season.
Yeah.
Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever your holiday you're celebrating, but also a lot of people, Brandon, they like to get engaged around this time. Your new year, starting the new year. So you're probably looking back at all the amazing memories you had in 2024. And if you're in love, fellas, it might be time to pop the question. You've popped the question before.
Oh, yeah.
It's
very 6 times.
6 times. Pretty important thing. Blue Nile. Anybody that's looking to take that momentous step, I recommend looking at Blue Nile and sourcing your engagement ring from Blue Nile. They're original online jeweler since 1999. You can create a bigger, more brilliant piece than you can even imagine at the price you won't find anywhere else. They have a diamond price guarantee, which means that in most cases, they can meet or beat a competitor's price on a comparable diamond. And here's the thing, Brandon. I'm sure you went to the jewelry store when you were popping the question to your wife, and it can be pretty stressful, right?
Yep. Sure.
You don't know what cut, color, size, the whole thing. You can go on Blue Nile and you can do it all right on your phone. You can create a custom engagement ring right there. You can look at all the different options without having to go into a jewelry store at all. You can just be sitting on the couch watching all these championship games thanks to Blue Nile. So go to BlueNile.com, use code ROUGH, and you get $50 off of a purchase of $500 or more. They've got a ton of different options. It's not just engagement rings. They've got a ton of different diamonds. That's $50 off with code ROUGH at BlueNile.com. BlueNile.com, again, only a purchase of $500. They will ensure you the highest ethical standards too. You're a big ethical guy.
Yeah, huge.
Big ethical guy. BlueNile.com, use code ROUGH.
So I guess we could amend the categories this week because I don't think there's a Liam Blutman Memorial Cover Your Eyes Game of the Week.
I was just going to submit we don't do them.
At all.
I was just going to say let's just preview the games.
Well, I feel like the categories are a way of previewing the games.
That's true. We don't have so many options. Like the 2 overtime game.
Well, let's try
it
like this.
Okay.
Big Ev, what game excites you the most this weekend?
I think it's Iowa State, Arizona State.
Yeah.
I think the fact that it's no doubt it is a playoff game. Winners in, losers out. And And I think it's just the kind of game, like it's a 2-point spread. I think you really have no idea what's going to happen in this game. Obviously, Arizona State had absolute chaos their last game.
Yeah. Can I add to it?
Please.
The ACC championship game is a play-in game, right? But Clemson's limping in. Clemson's kind of a lame duck being here. Like nobody believes Clemson really earned this, and they're just kind of there, and we're going to live with the result. Iowa State did have that 2-game little skid earlier, but they kind of put it back together.
They got off the mat,
and
they've legitimately got off the mat.
They have a road win at Iowa this year. Like this is a team that has earned their way there, and Arizona State's one of the hottest teams in the country. Like this has some oomph on the field, whereas the ACC one just kind of feels like Clemson's dragging it down a little bit. You agree with that?
No, 100%. No, that's why I picked this game.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of positive momentum on both sides. And I think it's a coin flip game. And I think Arizona State has – I mean, they've definitely been the hotter team, more consistent in the second half of the season. But I really think Iowa State's kind of just laying in the weeds here.
Yeah.
And they're kind of a team that they have the same record. Everyone's talking about Arizona State. No one's talking about Iowa State.
Blubman, how big of a deal is it that Jordan Tyson is out?
It is a big deal, but I do think I don't think it's as big of a deal as it could be because Iowa State's rush defense is not very good. I think they rank 96th in the country rush defense-wise. I wrote it down. They give up
Jordan Tyson being Arizona State's star wide receiver.
Of course, yes.
Just telling people.
Iowa State gives up 5 a carry, about 174 yards per game on the ground. Arizona State does pride itself on run game, even with Levitt, not just Scab, who the offensive line's great. They're just going to try and run the ball and wear them down. I think that there is, again, time of the year, coaching carousel. Kenny Dillingham, to me, feels like an ASU lifer. Matt Campbell always kind of flirted around with names of other jobs. He in the mix for a UNC job? He looking at that?
Yeah.
That play a role?
It's just these jobs do kind of hang over things, but it does feel like such a much lighter carousel than it usually is. So
It does, but UNC's open.
I think it's early to Dillingham, ASU lifer?
Scottsdale guy.
This early? I
Scottsdale
guess, but
guy won the ASU job his entire life.
Yeah, but money talks.
But if he wins here, I was going to say now your horizons are just start growing exponentially.
No, I get it. I just, to me, feels like he's cut differently. He's a different kind of guy. He wants to make ASU the best program in the country. There are some guys that are just rooted differently. I think he's one of them.
I'd love for him to be. I love when these smaller teams smaller is not the right word, but what the non-marquee teams can get a guy like that.
He's a
like Kansas
guy.
State getting Bill
Yeah, I was
Snyder.
going to say, if they find their own Bill Snyder, I mean, good on him and good on them.
I like when teams
Right.
do that.
Job security.
What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say that, all year we talked about how the Big 12 as a whole against, the SEC or the Big 10 wasn't up to competition, but that inside the conference, it was one of the most confusing conferences to play. And obviously we saw that play out. That's why this game is the most exciting one, because it truly is like a microcosm of what the Big 12 was all year. The fact we didn't even know who was going to be in the conference championship game until 3 a.m. on Sunday. And now it is a true playoff game. Like the Big 12 itself, whether you think that they can stand up to the Oregons, the Penn States, the Texas, the Georgia, maybe not. But the fact that this game is just an extension of the playoff just speaks about how chaotic the Big 12 has been, which is why I'm the most excited about it as well.
How much business you got?
2. We have one that's this one though.
Yes, we can do
we
that
have
in
a
a
segment
minute. Or
and
do
then
this one.
Do this one?
Yeah, do some pork rinds.
Pork
Talk about
rinds,
pork rinds,
baby.
Yeah.
Pork rinds. You know what I was thinking about, Brandon?
Yeah.
You have 4 kids.
Sure.
People that have to fill a lot of stockings.
Yeah.
You know what would be just a great little additive in there? Like a bag of pork rinds.
Pork rinds.
Because stockings,
spicy dill pork rinds.
Because stockings too, it's kind of like the extra stuff, but
Yeah.
you want like a full stocking.
You also want something to eat in your stocking.
Yeah,
I do anyway.
Like, why not just throw some pork rinds in there? Porkrinds.com. You can also find them at Kroger, H-E-B, Food Lion, and more. Our Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. We know they are our favorite. You don't need the chips. You don't need the pretzels. You don't need the popcorn. You need a snack that has the crunch, the flavor, and also is healthy, Brandon. Less than 1 gram of carb per serving. Lots of protein. We love them. Like I said, go get those the small serving bags. Throw it in there. Why not? Make somebody happy.
Why not? Pork
Make
rinds.
somebody happy.
Check out pork rinds. My game that excites me the most, I'll just be the homer, is the SEC championship game. All these are good. Oregon, Penn State, which we do need to somebody figure out a way to talk about in a second. But Georgia, Texas, to me,
I got you on that.
Texas. they didn't even win by much, right? They won 17-7. I really thought that was a vicious-looking version of Texas the other night in College Station.
Well,
I thought that defense was just nasty.
7
and
points was
savage.
a pick six, so that's why.
Well, I know, but like.
No, that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying
is it was vicious because
I'm not saying about the 7. I'm saying the 17. Like I feel like they
Presentation, the product.
Quinn Ewers kept them from scoring more. I feel like that game was really kind of like 31-6 or something like that. It wasn't really 17-7. I'm not trying to disrespect Texas. I'm Texas A&M. I'm trying to prop up Texas because I thought they were really impressive. They took a 17-0 lead and then kind of just drove the car in neutral the rest of the way.
What I'm saying is your point. Like I wasn't saying you can disrespect A&M. What I'm saying is that like that 7 was only there because Quinn Ewers made a mistake.
Now the one mark on their resume is just getting throttled by Georgia at home. Just getting absolutely handled. If I know Sark, I think he's schematically one of the best coaches in the country. He's coming. He's bringing something. He's bringing something to the table here, and I really feel like this will be the best version of Texas we've seen this year. And which version of Georgia, I have no idea, but I really, really, really look forward to this one because this home game could be in Austin. If Georgia takes this bye, there could be a home game in Austin. That could be on the table.
May I please submit to everyone?
Yes.
I've said submit twice. I sound way too professional. I don't want to go to Austin for a college football playoff game. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Well, we might.
I don't want to do it. I can't.
I've never been to Austin. I'd love to go.
Austin is great.
I'd love to go.
It would be my nightmare. It'd be like you going to Ole Miss, but like for a playoff game. First year, I can't. No, I can't.
Well, I did
can't.
go to Ole Miss.
Not for a playoff game, though. Can you imagine being in Oxford for a playoff game?
We went for a game against Georgia in November. Like, that was pretty...
And they smashed them.
No,
Yeah, it was pretty
we
fucking
were
rough.
already home for that. No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that it would just... I can't.
Big F, talk about Oregon and Penn State because Penn State's another team. Like, Penn State's 11-1. They're very good, and they have some sneaky good wins. Like, the people say, oh, who'd they beat? Well, the Illinois win is not bad. The Minnesota win's not bad. Like, they've got some... the way they beat UCLA was impressive. Not UCLA. I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm thinking of Indiana. Anyway, the way they beat somebody else was impressive. Anyway, West Virginia. Thank you, Brandon, for figuring that out. The way they went into West Virginia week 1 was impressive. Anyway, we got Penn State. We got Oregon. We have an Oregon team who went 12-0, who their biggest game, they beat Ohio State 31-30. What do you make of this Big Ten championship game?
I think Penn State's going to keep it close. I think
they're going to win.
I think they definitely can. It's weird with Oregon because they just like really both teams you could almost say haven't been super battle tested. They both just had to play Ohio State. It's my only hesitation with Penn State is that Ohio State, like they won the game 20-13, I think was the final. Could have easily been like 2-3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Ohio State left on the board, just story of the Ryan Day era. But I don't know, like and the way Ohio State was able to kind of bully them in the run game, even with like that was after Simmons went down. So that concerns me for them, but I think I want to see Drew Aller like step up. I think this is a big like Drew Aller game. Like he needs to kind of take them to the next level. I also think I think Oregon has more on the outside like receivers wise than Penn State does. I think that's kind of their downfall. They have good running backs, but they don't have like those game breaking receivers this year, and they really have in the last few years. To be honest, I think that'll be their problem. But I think physically they absolutely can hang. I think their corners can hang decently well too, actually. So yeah, I think I'm taking Penn State with the points. I definitely think they can keep it close.
Yeah, I think they're going to win. I think they have been gifted an opportunity to play for a conference championship. I think it, frankly, just feels like it means more to Franklin, and not that it doesn't mean a lot to both.
He won a Big Ten title before.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think there's something with this. Like he's won in this spot, and this Oregon team, like they got the big win over Ohio State. But other than that, they've kind of just been hanging around where
just kind of showing up every week.
Yeah, they're kind of just hanging around. And Penn State's playing with house money here.
Yeah,
like they truly have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Like they're going to basically be the same seed whether they win or lose.
Oregon's also
if they lose, it doesn't really matter.
Oregon's going 3 time zones to play a conference championship game. That's it's unprecedented. I know we've seen the travel within the season, but now they got to do it here.
Did you guys see the clip of the Dan Lanning speech where he used Inglourious Bastards?
I heard about it. I didn't.
Have you guys seen Inglourious Bastards?
I haven't.
Nobody's seen it?
I've seen parts of it.
Inglourious Bastards is my favorite movie of all time, and Brad Pitt's character's name is Aldo Rain, and like it's just the fact that Dan Lanning, by the way, brutal movie. Quentin Tarantino, brutal movie. The fact that he's using that in his speech and like talking about that, like that to me, like again, I'm not saying his speech is always going to win, but like that mindset versus James Franklin's mindset in general, like him arguing with the kid after the Ohio State loss, like I understand that's not going to always win you football games, but what they are playing for at Oregon and the mindset that they have being undefeated this year, and James Franklin just constantly making excuses for not being able to beat top 5 teams, like that's the difference to me is the coaching style. The defense, the offense, it's all there. Drew Aller, Dylan Gabriel, the whole thing. I just don't see James Franklin beating a Dan Lanning coach team. I just don't do it. Maybe I'm just falling into the bite. I don't know.
Yeah, but Dan Lanning's got the 1 win over Ohio State, but it's not like I don't think he's shown. I don't know that he's some big game merchant either.
He's done what James Franklin can't do, and that's beat Ohio State.
They beat him 31-30, and they're
I don't know. This is a total, and I've said this I think every year we've done this podcast. I just do not believe in James Franklin in big games. I just don't have that confidence.
Blutman, do you believe Penn State can win this game?
I mean, yeah, they can win it.
Do you believe Penn State will win this game?
No, I think Oregon will win this game like 30-24. I think the big matchup to look for is Oregon's offensive line holding up against Abdul Carter and not letting Carter dismantle their passing game that way. I think that's a fun matchup to look out for. Yeah, going to be a good game. Cheetos Bowl.
Let's do the
also,
yes.
Dan asked me for my most excited game.
I'm sorry. Continue. What game excites you the most?
Well, since all the coverage was going to be about the big dogs, 9-3 Ohio was not told that they're going to have a good season. They lost a lot. 8-4 Miami, Ohio lost 4 of their first 5. Your Miami, Ohio, Brandon.
That's right.
These are your guys. This is Brandon Walker versus Mark Titus, and nobody's talking about the big game in Detroit this week, Saturday morning. This game's going to be good. It's going to be a grind. Gritty, tough, good MAC football. Watch it. It's going to be good.
Let's do the unfuck segment.
Miami of Ohio wins the game.
You like it, huh?
I do. I bet them already. I actually bet it this morning right before we did the show.
I like Ohio 23-21.
Sometimes you look at Blutman like I can imagine you looking at your kids when they're just like looking at them just like, okay, all right. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice, honey.
Thanks, Brandon.
That's cute.
Got it, man. Good job. Good job, buddy.
I gotta give him coverage.
Yeah.
MobileX, the unfucked game or team of the week, is presented by MobileX. It's a brand new app that helps you unfuck your mobile phone bill. It's the only phone service where you pay only for data, talk, and text that you use. It can help you save 90% off your current mobile phone service because you only pay for what you use, Brandon. We know there are a lot of things that fuck you in life, especially when it comes to your wallet. Mobile phones will absolutely do that to you. So switching to MobileX, you will get unfucked, all while using one of the largest 5G networks in America. So every week we do what needs to get unfucked. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. The committee needs to get unfucked that if SMU loses to Clemson, and I know it's a big if. I personally think SMU is going to win that game, but I'm just preemptively saying the committee needs to get unfucked. If SMU loses to Clemson in the ACC championship game and they allow Alabama, who sat idle, who has 3 losses, and not just 3 losses at the beginning of the season, who got fucked by Oklahoma in a horrible, scored 3 points against a brutal Oklahoma team, the committee needs to get unfucked and say, hey, you cannot reward a team who has more losses, who has looked bad at the end of the season, for a team that loses in a conference championship game just because Alabama fucked themselves out of the SEC championship. Committee, don't do it. I think they're going to. I think they are going to fuck all of us, but SMU should absolutely be in unless they lose by 100 to Clemson. Ev, who needs to get unfucked?
I'm going to keep this very simple. The only way Ryan Day can get unfucked is win a national title. In my eyes, that is the only way. The only possible way. Nothing short of a national title can unfuck Ryan Day.
Blutman?
Blutman, I know you won't say the word, but who needs to get uneffed?
Mine already happened. I was set up to say it, and it happened seconds before the show. UCLA fired Eric Bieniemy. That's what they needed to do. They needed to go and they needed to make a change of offensive coordinator. They made that change. Hope on the horizon. Once again, UCLA carrying the weight of the Big Ten on our shoulders like we always have, always will.
Always have.
Tino Sinceri, Indiana OC, quarterbacks coach. The name to watch for the UCLA job, OC. If that happens, great googly moogly, the UCLA Mighty Bruins are the talk of the entire college football world. You're welcome, Brandon Walker. We're going to save you.
And my team to get unfucked is actually happening in the process. I think college football, certain teams I like when they're good. I like when West Virginia's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I just like I like the brand. I like the colors. I like the stadium.
Like it.
I like the titties.
Yep.
I like the fan base. I like everything about West Virginia. Like I really like them. And I don't like when they're bad. And Neil Brown was holding him back. And now they have a chance to get unfucked by going to get a new coach. Don't know who it's going to be yet, whether it's Kolonicky or Dan Mullen or whoever.
Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo Fisher.
Nick Turaney told me he wants Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo Fisher. Whoever it is, I want to see West Virginia get unfucked.
Go to mymobilex.com or download the MobileX app from the App Store or Google Play to get unfucked.
All right. Well, I did most exciting game. We've kind of hit games here and there. Y'all got about 10 minutes where y'all got to get on a plane. Player to watch. Let's do a player to watch as we go through these conference championships, and that'll help us preview some more too. Big F.
Yeah, I'm going to say Drew Aller, because I think Drew Aller's going to need to have if they want to win this game and win the Big Ten, he's going to have a huge game. He's had a good year, he was hurt in the Ohio State game, so we kind of only got to half see him. I think he's fully healthy now, at least healthier than he was then. Big time moment for Drew Aller to put himself on the map here. Maybe first round draft pick coming up in a couple of years. Maybe put themselves on the map as, hey, we're a team that can win it all.
Blutman, player to watch.
I have one for each game.
You need to keep it brief, but you can do each game.
Trey Stort, running back, Jacksonville State, one of the best kept secrets.
Oh, you mean each game?
Yeah.
All 10
All
games?
nine.
I knew he meant each game.
9.
Okay, all right.
He played at Limestone College a few years ago. Now he's a major producer at the D1 level. He was an absolute snub of top 10 Doak Walker voting. Darian Mensah, quarterback, Tulane, redshirt freshman, enjoyed a terrific season, thrown for 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Not only Friday night is a massive audition for him to make some good money and skyrocket his career in the portal. Jackson Woodard, UNLV linebacker, kid walked on to Arkansas in 2020. He had just 2 offers, VMI and Southern Nazarene. Now look, Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year, legit NFL draft prospect. He could blow your play up in the run game or pass game. Miami of Ohio's Keon Mosey, not just used well by Brandon Walker in the Mostly Sports Dynasty League. Very good running back, over 1,000 yards on a season. Quick, blistering ball carrier who could break up in the game. Marshall's quarterback, Braylon Braxton, really fun dual threat. Had legit Power 4 interest after his 2022 season at Tulsa. It all came crashing down in 2023. Injuries and just a bad short campaign. He's back this year. 17 touchdowns, 2 picks, having a really good year. Cam Skadaboo, of course. There's a reason why Jerome Bettis called Skadaboo his favorite running back in the country just 2 years ago when he was at Sacramento State. He is a bowling ball equipped with razor blades, a guy who was impossible to tackle. Andrew Makuva, unbelievable that Makuva's even playing college football right now. It's insane he's not in the NFL. Texas got a gem in the portal, ludicrous range, promising ball skills, knows for a run game, hopefully a first-round pick. Abdul Carter, as I mentioned, the Penn State pass rush up against Oregon's offense line going to be very fun to watch. And Brashard Smith, former wide receiver at Miami, Lashley Braum over to SMU, and he's killing it this year. Big hang back, home run ability, big wiggle, smooth with it. He's going to have a lot of NFL draft promise after this game, too. This big.
Still going?
It's done, Brandon. It's all 9. I went fast.
Okay. All right. Good. Is it my turn or is it your turn?
Whoever's turn you want.
You go. Player to watch.
We talked about this game a little bit. I think SMU is going to win, but my player to watch is Cade Klubnik and all of Clemson's offense because they looked awful against Georgia at the beginning of the season, and then over a 6-game stretch, they had one of the best offenses in the country. Now, the schedule obviously helps that, but over the last few games, they've not looked very good. They lose the game. It's just Clemson's offense put it together to beat SMU, which I think is probably part of the biggest part of the chaos. So that's probably my second most anticipated game just because I really hope the committee doesn't fuck SMU. So SMU just go out there and win.
My player is from that game too. You want to become a legend in Dallas or however in the area of Dallas the SMU fans are?
They're straight in Dallas.
Yeah.
Right in Dallas.
you want to become a legend, you go win this game and you lead SMU to the playoff in the first year of Power 5 football. In their first, it feels like their first year back. Frankly, like this is them just being on a huge stage. You get to say, "Fuck you, we guys are here." Kevin Jennings, very good season. We didn't, he was part of a committee at the beginning of the season. It was like it wasn't good. It was back and forth. Was Stone? What was his name? Preston Stone. Thank you very much.
Broke his leg.
Preston Stone, but Kevin Jennings was the guy anyway. So Kevin Jennings takes over. They end up winning 11 games. Now, you're kind of screwed if you lose, probably. Well, don't lose. Don't lose. Take it out of the committee's hands. Take it out of the committee's hands and be a legend. It's this guy, Kevin Jennings. That's how they win this game.
You know what I think we should do? Just like really quick, we should go around and say who's going to, not the spread, just who's going to win every game. So it's on record.
All right, Big Ten, Oregon, Penn State. Kayce.
Oregon.
Big F.
Oregon by field goal.
Blutman.
Oregon.
Penn State. Big 12, who's going to win? Arizona State, Iowa State. Kayce.
Arizona State.
Iowa State.
Arizona State.
Arizona State. In the SEC, Georgia, Texas. Kayce.
Georgia.
Texas.
Texas by double digits.
Texas, I agree. I also agree about double digits. In the ACC, SMU and Clemson. Kayce.
SMU.
SMU.
Hopefully SMU.
Do it, Brandon.
I say SMU as well, but Clemson being the fly in the ointment. And listen, you want to talk about the funniest thing ever. Clemson losing to South Carolina one week and stealing
their spot.
Not their spot, but stealing a spot the next week. A spot that South Carolina.
Bless you, big boy.
And then the next week, stealing a spot South Carolina would give their left leg to have is hilarious.
Can you imagine Shane Beamer's comments after that? Because Shane Beamer's not holding back.
Oh, yeah, he's been in his bag, too. But in that state, South Carolina beats Clemson, and for a week they walk around, and they should. They walk around, they're big, and then Clemson steals a playoff spot? It's
Chaos,
funny. I know y'all want SMU to win, but that is fucking hilarious.
No, that is very funny. That is very funny.
So let's see. Mountain West. UNLV, Boise.
Boise State, baby. Ashton Genty.
UNLV upset.
UNLV.
I don't want to.
No upset.
I don't want to see UNLV in the playoff.
What's the difference in UNLV, Boise?
Ashton Genty.
I don't think either team could compete, but both against like one of the best teams in the country.
At least you would have a Heisman finalist.
But both of them have a lot of fun to offer. Genty, the go-go offense. UNLV's secondary is really fun. Ricky White, great wide receiver, great special teamer. He's got like 4 block punts on the season as a WR1 future NFL guy. Like both teams have a lot to offer. I just don't think either of them can compete.
I'm going to say quarterback play. I'm going to say Boise close. Now we got to put together the underdog parlay of the week presented by DraftKings, correct? Do we not?
Yes.
What?
I mean, you forgot a lot of games. You did. You said we were picking every game.
MAC championship game. Go, Blutman.
Ohio, 23-21.
Yeah, Miami of Ohio.
Miami of Ohio.
Well, he said Ohio.
Oh, you said Ohio. Well, I'm saying Miami of Ohio. Miami.
I'm going whatever Big F
the
says.
bricks.
Wait, he just said before Miami was going to win, I thought.
No, I said Ohio.
Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State. Blutman.
Jacksonville State.
Yeah, Jacksonville State.
Jacksonville State.
Go Cox. Tulane, this one probably should have talked about. Tulane in the AAC, Tulane and Army. Tulane, Army.
Tulane.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tulane. They've been very good against triple option.
Yeah.
Army's luster has been lost.
I say Tulane by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Army.
Did I miss anything else? Is that sorry.
I think this was my under the radar game.
Marshall, Louisiana, UL Lafayette. Did I read that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm taking Louisiana. I had a lot to say about the game actually, but
I got to get them on a plane.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take Louisiana. They've been more consistent all year.
Yeah.
Really good actually. Besides the Tulane game.
Marshall.
Is Marshall's coach do what
that was what I needed to.
You can. I think he can talk about it. We have time.
What the fuck?
We have time.
He's 31-20 in his Marshall career. He's been there since 2021. He beat Notre Dame. He led them to the Sun Belt title game.
Huff. What's his name?
Charles Huff.
Charles Huff. Yeah.
He led Marshall to the Sun Belt title game this year. They seemingly never lost. They lost to Virginia Tech. They lost to Ohio State. They were pretty respectable in both games.
Right.
He's like, they're not giving him an extension. They already have their next head coach in waiting pretty much. It's just not official. And he's like flirting with Southern Miss for the job.
Yeah.
I don't know how you as players go and play this game. Is the emotional toll too much?
I thought he accepted the Southern Miss job already.
I mean, it's not official.
Okay.
But like,
He
is,
has.
Is the emotional toll too much to overcome for the kids? Or are they like, hey, one last ride, we're gonna stick the middle finger at the upper management here, the AD and everything. You should have kept our guy.
Can he get a better job than Southern Miss too?
That's what I thought. I don't get it.
Yeah.
He's like a good, tough, physical coach that understands the identity and everything. And they develop players really well at Marshall too. I don't get this at all. He's had success in the portal.
I got to get them on a plane.
Yes. That's why I'm taking you.
We do have yes.
I got to get you on a plane.
Okay.
So it is the. Did you send it to me? Yes, you did. It's the draft. It's the unnecessary roughness parlay
Try again.
It's the unnecessary roughness underdog parlay presented by DraftKings.
There you go.
Where we all do a underdog and we win.
It's
and we've done it 4 times.
It's a lot harder this week because there's not very many games.
Correct. Kayce, go.
I'm sorry, everybody. I know you guys are going to hate me for this, but I'm taking Georgia.
Why would we hate you? There's there's 10 games.
Well, I know because you guys are all. You said double digits by Texas by double digits. I'm sorry. I think Georgia's going to win the game.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get where you would be coming from. They're an underdog who beat the shit out of this team the first time.
Yeah, and I think that the under is very much in play for that game because Quinn Ewers and I want to say Brock Bowers because we were just talking about Carson Beck. They make mistakes, fellas. They make mistakes.
Yeah, my only concern there is
they have really good defense.
No, they got DePants the first time, got beat by 15 points, and they're a 3-point favorite. Like that's interesting, but respect it.
Georgia.
Yours is Georgia. Who's yours?
Penn State. I just think it's a 50-50 game. I'll gladly take 3 in the hook here.
Yeah,
close game, tough game. 2 good quarterbacks. Yeah, I'll take Penn State in the points.
Blutman.
Ohio, not easy to beat a team twice, especially when it's the Battle of the Bricks, a big rivalry game. Ohio and Detroit.
And I have UNLV. Keeping it close out there in the Mountain West. So that is the Underdog Parlay of the Week presented by DraftKings. This week, DraftKings has a college football parlay profit boost. All you have to do is head to the app and opt in. So head to the app now to check out our bet and claim this week's boost. It's currently these odds for this parlay plus $11.85.
All right.
$100. It wins. You win $1,185. That's how that works.
We've hit 4 times, boys.
Yep. Time to hit again. Anyway, that's the Underdog Parlay of the Week presented by DraftKings, and that is also Unnecessary Roughness, and we will see you Saturday night after all the chaos.
Bang.